Hey guys, it's Will. So, Big Bear AI made a big move today, surging over 14%, and we locked in profits at $4.26 for about $400. Now, here's the kicker. If Big Bear AI hits $7 by June 20th, then you get Stockmate for free. That's right. You can get our daily live trading sessions Monday through Friday for free if you enroll in Stockmates and Big Bear AI hits $7 per share by June 20th. Now, it's been a while since it's been there. It was just back in, I guess, January when it was at that $10 price point. But when it comes down to Big Bear's potential, or actually it was February, it is possible. So when it comes to Big Bear, the reality is this company just surged about 12% in one day. We had been waiting for this move. Why had we held on? We kind of talked about it yesterday and into our trading session this morning. We said, hey, we're still holding on Big Bear because while we had a stop loss that we were setting at, $3.80, we were able to weather it. We said we're going to hold it. It went down all the way to $3.72. But we said this overall trend, it's just too strong. And it would make sense that this would play out. That's what we've been watching for the last few weeks. And then today, that's exactly what happened. So it shot up to $4.43. And we ended up selling actually a little prematurely before that at $4.26 for about just over $400 profit. And then in our daily live session in Stockmates, we also traded Tesla today and that was about well, actually I don't know how is that one doing right now. We could check it out actually. TSLL, $150 profit there. That one's still kind of holding in our zone, and we'll see that one how that one goes. We bought that one this morning, and we also traded SOXS and sold for a profit this morning, and that was in the semiconductor market. So really profitable day. Our portfolio is up about 6.6% today. And what we're looking at with Big Bear now is this continuation of trend. This is what we were waiting for. So just to kind of, really look at this validation of the overall trend, this is now starting to look like, okay, we could see it continue maybe up into that $5 range. That would be about a 15% swing, and it would be a continuation of pattern. So kind of what I was expecting in the thought process behind our sell for that profit this morning was we got it up to here and I set a stop, and that's why it sold, right? So it sold almost all of our shares. I think maybe there's, what is that, 234 shares still, and it hasn't really moved much. So just about $1,000 in the short term, and then our long term we're still holding there. Now when it comes to the profits and the money that we're able to make today, it was all just a result of watching this overall trend with Big Bear. When it comes to the stock's movement, it's been so consistent since the beginning of April. They have some new contracts that have been kicking in. They have hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts, and their market cap's been holding around 1 billion. And I'm seeing one of the best indicators in the market, which is real world usage. Whether it's AI, it could be space stocks, it could be quantum computing stocks, it could be nuclear stocks, whatever type of companies we're analyzing, we're looking at what is the real growth and the actual profits, but we're also looking at what's the real world usage like, and is it actually getting used? And so when it comes to Big Bear AI stock, you could see that they've surged about 250 billion or 250 million, in one day. And then their market cap and their financials have looked a lot better. Then when we start to look at their outside of their financials and them cutting debts, we start to look at some of their products that they've released. And one of the things that we've seen when I say real world usage, it's kind of hard to tell, right? When they're saying we have Pentagon solutions, right? We have a Pentagon contract, or they say we have a cybersecurity contract, or we got the contract with the Department of Defense or the Navy or what have you, the Army. They got $160 million contract with the Army, and those are all great things, right? But what do you look for? It's like, okay, can we see the real world usage? And honestly, I've been getting a lot of comments from you guys that says, I just went through the airport. I was flying. I was getting ready to get on my plane. And right before I get on my plane and I'm getting ready to scan my ticket, the flight attendant says, please, look at this scanner. And they do this biometric scanner just like this. And that Big Bear AI, in fact, did scan my face. So people are saying, I'm seeing it. I personally saw it firsthand. And when it comes to just basic rules of investing, if you see a lot of MacBooks, a lot of iPhones, Apple AirPods, and Apple iPads and pencils, it's probably not a bad investment to buy Apple stock. If you see a lot of usage in certain areas and you get to see it firsthand, there's a good chance that there's profits or contracts or things that are rolling into that company that might not yet be reported in their earnings. Not always, but a lot of the time. And so, for example, they have their different, the faster growing part about Big Bear is they have these contracts that hit with these airlines. There's some airlines here or these international airports that are mentioned. And there's a lot of other airports that I'm getting comments from you guys, getting a pulse on the market. They're saying I'm seeing it firsthand. I just got my face scanned, and I personally saw it at Denver International Airport, which isn't mentioned here, but is mentioned in their news article with their investor side of their business with their contracts. And so when we look at their contracts, there's very consistent influx of contracts, and they definitely, if you go back here, there's that $165 million contract with Army. That's some consistent cash flow. Then you go even further, and you could see some of their IDIQ. There is a acquisition of a company there, and then you could also see the Denver International Airport report there as well. So I think that's somewhere in here. Yeah, it's somewhere in there. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but it's somewhere in there. So when it comes to the recent news, the fast breakout that we've seen today, shooting up to this $4.30. Yes, it is overextended. Yeah, we did just close a short-term position, and I could be wrong, and it could continue down. In fact, I was just talking with a client the other day where we were talking about putting in a stop loss on this APLD because he had made, $8,000 in a day because it surged 50%. And I don't know exactly how that's going, but hey, it rallied another 30% today. So with Big Bear, it's possible that it continues to rally. And that's great for our long-term positions, right? So right now, it's at this resistance. This is a previous resistance right here at $4.40. So we got to watch that $4.40 range, previous resistance, support, resistance, right there. You can kind of see these levels where it's acted as support and a resistance, and it is getting rejected there. Now pulled back, starting to maybe push back up. And so if it breaks out above that level, really the next target are those highs of $4.80 up to that $5 range, which from here would be about a 15% profit. Now, when it comes to calculating your plan and your profits, I wanted to share with you guys this stock profit calculator. So for example, if you got in, let's say like we just had a recent entry buying Big Bear AI at $3.89. It's currently at $4.30, and I don't remember how many shares did we sell, about 2,500 shares at that time. And there was no commission fees on it. And as you could see, we sold for a little bit less. We didn't sell for that full $1,000 profit. It was more like, I think it was just about half that. So we were able to lock in some of it. We didn't sell our whole position. That's what's going on. We sold some of our shares. And so you could see the calculator and how we had managed risk based on the profit that we're looking for. So for example, like now we're looking at Big Bear and we're saying, okay, this 15% profit that we could potentially see on Big Bear up to $5 per share is the next target if it breaks above this 440. So if that's 494, and let's say we just got in at, let's say, 329, so let's run it. So, or 429, sorry. So 429, and we're looking for, let's just call it the $5 range. And let's say that we invest, 1,000 shares, which would be, what is that, of like 4,000 or 5,000. If it reaches that range, we would manage risk at $4.15 stop, and we'd be looking for a $710 profit if it reaches that level. So I put this together. It's free. It's absolutely 100% as much as you want to use it. It's not so much good on mobile phones right now, as I just spun it together. But if you want to go grab it for free, use it as much as you like. It's the first link in the description. Whatever it is that you're trading, whether it's quantum, AI, or space stocks, and you're starting to look at these companies and see the advent of AI and really starting to see this momentum, right now is one of the best times to be watching the markets. So if you ever want to join us in our daily live trading, we're giving away a free Stockmate t-shirt to every member that joins lifetime access as well. And we have that sale for the next 24 hours that if Big Bear, if you enroll in Stockmate and Big Bear hits, $7 a share by June 20th, then you will get Stockmate for free. That's right, a full refund. So that would mean a push up here. It'd be a breakout, right? It'd be a push up to here. And not previous highs we saw in February, but that would anticipate a big breakout on Big Bear. And guess what? You get Stockmate for free. And you got 16 days for something like that to happen. So we'll see how it goes. If not, hey, you get to get our daily live trading. You get to get a one-on-one call with me and surround yourself with like-minded investors and traders. It's kind of a win-win, right? Why not take the chance? It's the second link in the description. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.